On the show today, great story for you on a woman who's doing so much to save the lives of large breed dogs. And large breed dogs are tough in a rescue situation, so she has specialized in saving their lives. And there's a great story coming up a little bit later on next hour on the Sunday Morning Blend. We're going to change gears a little bit. If you're a CFRA listener, you may have heard the ads here on CFRA for Keshet Kennels. Or maybe you've seen the TV ads on CTV Ottawa. But the kennel and boarding business is just one chapter of their story. This morning on the Sunday Morning Blend, we meet the woman behind Keshet Kennels, and we discover why she is an angel to a number of large dogs in the capital whom, without her help, would need to be put down.
How is this for a parking job? Not very good?
No, that's fine. No,
Yeah?
we're just seeing if we can cut across that way.
Okay, so which one are you?
I'm Dan.
Okay, Dan. Hey, how are you?
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I grew up in Japan, and there were a lot of stray dogs in Japan. And as a kid, we had, I used to call him a pointer, but he was obviously a mix of some sort. His name was Pinto, and I've always loved dogs, and it started then. I knew then that my life would involve dogs.
Be nice here.
My name is Debbie Moffat, and I'm founder and CEO of Keshet Kennels and Rescue in Carlsbad Springs.
Extremely
Debbie's hair is tied back and she's wearing work clothes. Her jacket has duct tape on the sleeve cuffs. She's not too comfortable about being interviewed. Doesn't like to be the center of attention. It helps that she's showing off her dream, a kind of Disneyland for dogs. Our first stop is this huge fenced-in area called the Habitat. 4 specially designed doggy dens. There's actually a waterfall
on that one, a stream that goes all the way down, and where you see the winter fencing, that's a pond.
Oh, okay.
So it looks very different in summer. And of everything on the property, like I say, this is the jewel, and this is where I get the most joy of watching the dogs, because they're free, and it's not just manicured lawn, and they love to swim. Those that love to swim. So that's the Habitat.
The Habitat is just one of a number of large fenced-in areas. In fact, 12 or so of the 52 acres are fenced in. The Moffats started building the doggy Disneyland in 2005. It wasn't too long after that they made their first rescue.
His name is Timber. He was actually majority wolf, estimated to be about 95% wolf. He came from Alberta, and he is the patriarch, and I consider, this is his legacy.
It's not long before we meet our first rescues.
The 3 Musketeers?
Yeah. So we have 7 sled dogs. 3 of them live here, and another 4 live in a different area. We got them all in one day. Someone needed to get rid of them, and if they didn't find a home, they were going to be taken out back and shot. So we got ourselves 7 sled dogs in one shot.
Over at the renovated barn, each of the dogs has indoor and outdoor space. That's where we find Bobby, a mix of Burmese mountain dog and lab. Debbie figures he's just over 2 years old. His rescue is a little bit different. He was actually a stray, or sort of. It was back in February of last year. A couple was walking their dog when they noticed a truck stop nearby. The truck door swung open, and out came Bobby. The door shut, and the truck took off.
So he, Mr. Happy-Go-Lucky, he's running after the truck and said, "Oh, look, people." So he diverted his attention to this couple, and so he never spent any time out on the streets. He didn't have to to suffer hunger or anything like that. And they actually kept him for a month. They called me right away, but they said they're going to see if they could keep him. But after a month, he was a little, because he's young, and probably the reason why he was abandoned was because no one took the time to teach him. If I had to guess, because it's all speculation, I would think that he was probably a farm dog. He was probably left outside with his own in his own devices, and he's so people friendly that when he saw people, he'd jump all over them. And it's cute when it's a puppy, but when they get bigger, he'd knock you over, and he would not mouth because he was biting. He wanted to play, and he was a puppy. So anyway, he was a little too much for this couple. They were an older couple, and so that's how he came to us.
While Bobby is up for adoption, he's earning his keep at Keshet.
So anybody who comes with a dog and they want a dog to have a play date, if there's no other boarders, there's always good old Bobby. Yeah, he's sort of our resident host. Yeah. So like those two are for adoption. Well, they will be once I screen them. She's for adoption. This is Harley. He's for adoption. Hey, Harley. Harley. Hi, sweetie. You're gonna say hi? Yes. So this is Xena, who's also going through the adoption process. She's a young Rottweiler that was a rescue transfer. So she came from Gatineau SPCA, and if a rescue wasn't going to take her out, then she would have been euthanized. But she was abandoned, and just wrong place at the wrong time. But pleased to say she's a sweetie pie and also doing very well. She is going into a family of 6, very active, exactly what she needs. She's already been on a couple of day trips to them, and the only thing left is sleepover, and then that'll be a final adoption as well.
Most of Debbie's rescues are what she calls owner surrenders. That's where, for whatever reason, the owners aren't able to keep the dog. It's something that Debbie had to do herself a number of years ago when she was living abroad. She vowed that she would never do it again. Meet Enzo. He's a big boy, Rottweiler, and as Debbie puts it, a teddy bear.
He actually had a lot of people interested, but I turned them away because they weren't the right homes. We have to consider why people want a dog, what their lifestyle is, and if there's anything that doesn't sound right, then the adoption process stops. But one thing I said, good girl. Yeah. The one thing I've noticed, sometimes they're here longer than I would want them to stay, but good things come to those that wait. Like we've had some dogs that were here for 4 years, but those 4 years were worth the wait because they found the absolute perfect home. Hey, sweetie. Yeah.
Losing a dog doesn't get any easier for Debbie. She says it's actually getting more difficult.
In fact, I find that losing them now is harder. I don't know if it's because I'm getting older or more emotional, or I don't know what, but every loss is very difficult for me. And as you can see, I just think of all the guys that we lost, and what they brought to our lives. Wouldn't change it for anything.
There are about 30 or so rescue dogs here at Keshet, all of them large breed. Some will never be adopted. Chico and Toshiko are both too old and lame. Then there's Misty, Bud, and Aragon. Debbie's fine with them hanging out here for however long it takes for them to get a forever home. And if that doesn't work out, life here isn't so bad. Debbie talks about the dogs, and you'd think that she was talking about members of her own family. And for that, she offers no apology.
I love people. I think I'm a very outgoing person, and but give me a dog anytime. If I have the choice, I'll gravitate to the dog. Sad but true.
It may be hard to believe that there have been times in Debbie's life where she hasn't been able to have a dog. She says that's not likely to ever happen again.
There would have to be a really good reason for me not to have a dog. But hopefully I'll reduce in numbers, Maybe even go for small dogs. There's something to be said about, picking them up and taking them everywhere. But yeah, I do love my large dogs, and they're lap dogs, no different than the little guys. It's just that your legs go numb, that's all. Yeah. But yeah, dogs will be part of my life, always. Hey, Chico. Come on. Chico, move. Back. Yeah, just come on in. Watch your tail. Watch your tail, sweetie.
That's Debbie Moffat from Keshet Kennels. And they do have a kennel service there. They find ways to fund all of the rescues. And they do that by renting out some of the facilities. It's just amazing. You go out there and there's just so many different fenced-in places for the dogs to play. There's also a covered area for dog agility, that they rent out. They do training sessions there. You can also sponsor them as well or make a purchase from a catalog. Check out all that information we've posted on our Facebook page. Keshet Kennels, Debbie Moffat, and doing a great deed to keep large dogs out of the jaws of death. Coming up next, more Christmas stories this morning on the Sunday Morning Blend. Stay with us.